video we're going to talk about angle of elevation and angle of depression. So when looking up to an object, the angle of elevation is formed by an observer's line of sight and the horizontal line. So I think this is a good picture and explanation of angle of elevation. It's looking up, it's elevating. Let's look at some examples. So draw and label a diagram, then solve for the missing part, round to the nearest 10. So the first problem, Casey sights the top of an 84-foot tall lighthouse at an angle of elevation of 58 degrees. If Casey is 6 feet tall, how far is he standing from the base of the lighthouse? So you've got some information here. So he's 84-foot tall lighthouse, angle of elevation is 58. He is 6 feet tall. So we're looking for how far he is standing from the lighthouse. So that's our X value here. So let's go ahead and kind of draw that out. Okay, so standing, he's looking up at this lighthouse to my right angle. So the angle of elevation is going to be this angle here. That's 58 degrees. We can start with that. It's not going to work. So we got 58 degrees. That's my angle of elevation. He is 6 feet tall. That's what they're telling us. And the lighthouse itself here, okay, so if we have a lighthouse, the lighthouse itself is going to be 84 foot tall. Okay, so that's 84 and he's 6. We need to look at this measure right here. So 84 minus 6 is going to give us 78. So this measure actually is 78 right there. So it's going to be 78 feet. We want to know how far is he standing from the base of the lighthouse. So what is this distance here? What we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to find our opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. You're going to use SOHCAHTOA to figure out what we're doing here. So if I'm looking for adjacent, I have opposite, we're looking at tan. So tangent of 58 degrees is equal to opposite, which is 78, over adjacent, which is x. Cross multiply and solve. Okay. So I get x times tan of 58 is equal to 78. Divide both sides by tan of 58. Then x is going to equal 48.7 feet. Okay, so he's standing 48.7 feet from the lighthouse. Go ahead and look at the next problem. So the angle of elevation from the kicker's foot to the football field at the top of the goal post is 17 degrees. If he's standing 131 feet from the base of the goal post, how tall is the goal post? So if he's kicking it, it's on the ground already. Let's go ahead and start with our right triangle here. Label what we got. So the angle of elevation from the kicker's foot, so at this point in time, we're standing there, to the top of the goal post, so our goal post is over here, is 17 degrees. He's standing 31 feet from the base of the goal post. Sorry, 131 feet. He's standing 131 feet here. They want to know how tall is the goalpost? Okay, so again, labeling, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. And again, we're looking at opposite and adjacent. So SOHCAHTOA, that's our tan. So tangent of 17 degrees is equal to x over 131, cross multiply. X is equal to 131 times tangent of 17. So x is going to be equal to 40.1 feet. All right, let's do a couple more. So go ahead and try number 3, pause it, try number 3, and then you can play. Okay, so Leah and her mom with the slide, you were looking for the length of the slide, you had the heights, the elevation from the bottom of the slide and the ground was 46, so you ended up with 12.5 feet. Oh, let's try number 4 here. The dog is standing 5 feet from the base of the tree, looking up at a cat that has climbed 16 feet up the tree. What is the angle of elevation from the points? So this one we're looking for angle of elevation. So go ahead and pause and set your problem up. Okay, here's my setup. He's 5 feet from the base of the tree, 16 feet up the tree, and I'm looking this time for my angle measure. So again, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. This ends up tan, because tan is opposite over adjacent. So if I do tangent of x is equal to 16 over 5. To find x, I'm going to do x is equal to tan inverse of 16 over 5, which is going to give me 72.6 degrees. Alright, that would be angle of elevation. Now we're going to get into angle of depression. Angle of depression is very similar, except for instead of looking up this time, we're going to look down with an object. So the angle of depression is formed by the observer's sights in the horizontal line. So I think this is a very good analogy here with the swimmer and the lifeguard. Angle of depression is congruent to the angle of elevation because they are alternate interior angles. Okay, so these are congruent. That means that this angle up here and this angle down here is the same. So his angle, the swimmer's angle of elevation is the same as the angle of depression. Because it's the horizontal line there. Okay, draw and label the diagram, solve the missing part, round to the nearest tenth. So lifeguard is sitting on a platform, looking down at the swimmers in the water. The lifeguard's line of sight is 8 feet above the ground, and the angle of depression to the swimmer is 18 degrees. How far away is the swimmer from the lifeguard? So what happens is you end up with this triangle like they have here. Okay, he's looking down. It said that he was 8 feet high. Okay, it also said that the 18 degrees was the angle of depression, which alternate interior, that means the angle of elevation from the other side is 18 degrees. And they want to know how far away is the swimmer from the lifeguard, so X. So let's go ahead and see. Opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. So if I look at my parts, my SOHCAHTOA, then looking at opposite and adjacent, again that's tan. So tangent of 18 degrees is equal to 8 over x, cross multiplying solve, x times tan of 18 is equal to 8. Divide both sides by tan of 18. X is going to be equal to 24.6 feet. Okay, so we're doing very similar work to what we were doing on the other side with angle of elevation. You just have to get your angle of depression put into where the elevation would be. Again, these are congruent. So a pylon helicopter spots landing pad below. So if we look at our right triangle here, okay, we got a helicopter in the air. If the angle of depression is 73 degrees, so angle of depression is 73 degrees, and the horizontal distance to the pad is horizontal, horizon, 1,200 feet. What is the altitude? Remember, altitude is the height straight down. Okay, so again, this can get moved in here. This is 73 degrees. Opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse, which means we're looking at tan again here. So tangent of 73 degrees is equal to x over 1,200. Cross multiply, x is equal to 1,200 times tan of 73, which makes x equal to 3,925 feet. So that's how high the helicopter is. All right, let's look at a couple more. Building A is 480 feet tall and building B is 654 feet tall. The angle of depression from the top of the building B to the top of A is 42 degrees. How far apart are the buildings? So we're talking about building A, talking about building B. Building B is taller than building A. Okay. Then we are talking about an angle of depression. So we're looking here is 42 degrees. They want to know from here, this is 42 degrees, alternate interior. Here's your right angle. So it says building A is 480, building B is 654. How far apart are the buildings? So here's my x value. We want to know how far apart are the buildings. Well, we need to take 654 and subtract 480, which is going to give us 174, because that's what we're going to be using here. So opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. So again, tan, so I'm using tangent of 42 degrees is equal to 174 over x. Cross multiply, x tan 42 is equal to 174. Divide both sides by tan of 42. Okay, x is going to be equal to 193.2 feet. Alright, I want you to go ahead and try number 8. So pause and try number 8. Alright, for our last problem, Zach, stand